The UN mission to Libya today called for a truce for 2 hours in southern Tripoli to evacuate civilians. Fighting between the rival camps has threatened to spark a full-blown civil war in that country. In the meantime, the rising of tensions in Libya are raising concerns over the U.S. and Russian influence in that country. One America's Kristian Rouz has a report.
We will never give up in our support to the Libyan people.
The U.S. is evacuating its military personnel from Libya as the forces of Russian-backed General Khalifa Haftar enter the outskirts of the capital of Tripoli. The move comes amid Haftar's final push to end the 8 years of civil war in his country as he seeks to oust the UN-backed Government of National Accord, or GNA. Reports Sunday show Haftar's Libyan National Army, or LNA, engaging in shootouts with GNA forces amid heightened international concerns.
Obviously, watching the situation in Libya very, very carefully, with a great deal of concern, and we're seeking to maximise British influence, European influence in that situation to try and resolve the situation as best we can.
Haftar's rapid advances pose a complex challenge to U.S. interest in the Middle East. On the one hand, Renegade General is a U.S. citizen, and he has pledged to end Islamic terrorism in Libya after years of unsuccessful U.S. operations against ISIS in the country. On the other, Haftar's army reportedly includes Russian special forces and private military, claims denied by the Kremlin. However, Russia has admitted to seeking to increase its influence in Libya.
The reason for the Libyan crisis is what NATO countries did with this country back in 2011. Namely, since then, it has become a failed state. We, as well as Egypt, support the Libyans themselves in determining their fate.
3 days into Haftar's offensive, the U.S. Embassy in Tripoli called on the sides to immediately cease all military operations in the city. Meanwhile, for Europe, Haftar's victory could be a positive, as the general has pledged to curb Islamic mass migration across the Mediterranean. But the main concern remains: Russia could establish control over Libyan oil fields in exchange for supporting Haftar, just like it did in Syria and Venezuela.
We want Russia to become the sponsor in the Libyan national settlement. We call on Russian leadership and Russian President Vladimir Putin for peace interference in Libyan national reconciliation.
The Libyan government vowed to fight Haftar's forces, but it has already lost a significant amount of territory over the past few days. On Sunday, the GNA started aerial operations against Haftar, who in turn said he would not bomb Tripoli to avoid civilian deaths. For their part, European officials are calling for a political solution, but the latest round of escalation may suggest it's too late.
They also called on all forces to de-escalate and halt military activity. There can be no military solution to the conflict.
Some Libyans have welcomed Haftar's recent success, saying his victory could finally put an end to tribal warfare. In the meantime, close-quarter combat across the neighborhoods of Tripoli rages on. Kristian, Rouz, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.